Hello, it's another Wednesday evening. News Extra beckons, and I am Fatima Abbas Hassan, bringing you details of trending reports. Top among them is that luxury goods that may attract a higher tax if a revised national tax policy scales through the National Assembly. Also tonight, the National Population Commission gets 5 new commissioners. And talking about the Population Commission, one area which has suffered a displacement of population is the Northeast, owing to insurgency. As the Nigerian military continues to score successes in restoring normalcy there, correspondent on special assignment brings us echoes from Sambisa, which until lately was known as the dreaded enclave of the insurgents. And on the political front, there is a manifesto from a newly registered political party with an eye on the future. Stay with us for the details of these and other reports. We begin with the Federal Executive Council meeting, which has approved the setting up of a task force on food security. The Council equally approved a draft revised national tax policy towards an efficient tax system and addressing the challenges of low level of tax to the GDP, which stands presently at only 6%. Here is State House correspondent Jide Onifade with a report and other deliberations of the Federal Executive Council.
Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed says government is concerned about the high cost of food items in the market, hence the need for the committee to look into reasons for this and how government can intervene.
That intervention might be in the area of, providing a form of, subsidy, probably in the area of transportation, but it's being worked out. But this is just to show that the government is, very, very concerned about the rising cost of food prices, and we are responding to it. The committee hopefully will be able to report back to Council next week with concrete actions to be taken.
The draft of the revised national tax policy approved by the Council at this meeting is geared towards a number of factors which include wealth creation and employment, creating a competitive edge. Kemi Adeosun is the Finance Minister.
The committee also listed a number of areas of our existing tax law that need to be changed, and these include what is called minimum tax, which has been a disincentive for many companies. Even when they're making losses, they're required to pay what is called minimum tax. So that's a disincentive if a company is just starting up and still required to pay tax even when they're not making profits. So we'll be speaking to the National Assembly about that. There's also a need for clarity on withholding tax. There's some changes recommended for petroleum profits tax, excess dividend tax, and taxation of insurance companies.
Minister of State for Aviation, Adisirika, says the Council also approved the purchase of 2 new coaches.
All of the federal government 21 airports, and of course 3 aerodromes, namely Boni, Excravos, and Eket. These joint briefing offices will include the AIS automation, and also they will co-locate the TRACOM project, the total radar coverage, the AIS automation system.
Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, admonishes labour unions to toe the path of dialogue rather than embarking on strike actions.
Government and the labour laws make provision for social dialogue. It makes provision also for collective bargaining agreement. And it also makes provision for those collective bargaining agreements to be revisited. You can review it, you can rediscuss it. It's all there. The ILO permits it. It's in the ILO charter and in their conventions. So Nigerian unions should imbibe the culture of social dialogue.
Acting President Yemi Osinbajo chaired the meeting, making it the second time he is doing so since the president commenced on a 10-day leave. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Thank you, Jide. I'm being joined now by Mr. Simon Kato, the immediate past chairman of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Abuja chapter. We're glad to have you on the program.
Thank you, Fatima. Good
evening.
Now,
What is this new tax policy all about?
Every tax system in this country, not just in this country, every tax system should be able to have a drive of a tax policy on one hand, the tax laws on the other hand, and tax administration on the other hand. The tax policy simply tells us that as a nation, this is the way we intend to run the tax system to make it effective. It's like a policy drive, you know, a directive that this is the way we want to go. And it is expected that every country does that. It guides the implementation, it guides the stakeholders in taxes on how they should behave and how they should administer taxes in the country.
Okay, so what then will be the implication of higher tax on luxury products?
The whole thing has to do with a general review of what has been on ground. There has been challenges. We've always had a tax policy before now, but it's not been able to drive home. Some challenges we've had have to do with the complaints we've always had of having several organizations or agencies administering taxes, and then you have so much different kind of taxes coming up. Now, this policy is going to guide the way things are being done, and it is a kind of an institutionalized thing that if it is well implemented diligently, the tax administration in this country and the tax system will be much different. And we will now be able to, you know, like in the issue of the taxes, you know, some goods being taxed higher than others in terms of the luxury goods you talk about, you would find out that it will spell out the aspect of consumption with regards to where we spend money in order to ensure that not the lower income earners are able to earn, pay less, while those that are very much on the high spending side, of course, will now contribute more for government to have what it needs in order to run its affairs.
Now, quickly, how will that policy affect the nation's GDP?
It will, in the first instance, be able to even attract and give confidence to investors even from outside.
Okay.
In the sense that the economy will now thrive because there is a direction. The tax system is now being institutionalized in such a way that it will even give room for even reforms of even the current tax laws that are not working as expected, maybe not being revised over time. And all this will lead to a situation where the economy will thrive because it's a fiscal policy direction that is now well guided and well directioned to enable people to now be able to invest. And you know that you're not going to be faced with situation where you are afraid what tax to pay. Everything is going to appear simple enough for you to understand and appreciate what you're doing.
No, but are people not going to feel overtaxed without an increase in income?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
You see, in this country, the tax net has not even been fully covered. There are quite a lot of people that are still doing businesses that have not even been able to contribute to the tax tax net itself. And so it will only give room for people to now come in and play their little roles in their little corners. And so it's not going to be a kind of an overtaxing in any way.
Okay. Thank you very much. This is where we have to leave it for now.
Okay.
And Harry is hoping that the new policy will scale through at the National Assembly.
Thank you very much.
Moving away from tax matters, the acting president, Yemi Oshibanjo, has sworn in 5 commissioners of the National Population Commission, NPC. The event took place shortly before the meeting of the Federal Executive Council at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Those sworn in are Dr. Eyitayo Oyekule Oyetunji from Oyo State, Mr. Benedict Ukpong, Akwa Ibom State, Haliru Baba, Kebbi State, Patricia Kupchi, Benue State, and Gloria Izonfor Bayelsa State. One of the new commissioners spoke to State House correspondent Jide Onifadi.
adequate information about the population. You must have an information that is correct, that is acceptable, that is reliable, in order for you to plan a change that will be sustainable. So my vision is to contribute by supporting other members in the commission towards the achievement of this mission.
The viability of the current administration's drive to revitalize the railway transportation in the country has again been re-emphasized with the dogged commitment of the Buhari administration to rehabilitate the system as a major drive in the country's economy. This came up during the 2017 budget defense organized by the Senate Committee on Land Transportation. National Assembly correspondent Waziri Zayanu has the details.
The veritable strategic plan of government to bring back railway system to its past glory presupposes the need for the $30 billion as stipulated by the minister during the committee sitting. Chief Rotimi Amechi appealed to the lawmakers for approval of the borrowing plan, without which he said the final signing by the Chinese government could not be concluded. Under the agreement, federal government will take $25.8 billion, while strategic states with planned intercity railway infrastructure will share $4.1 billion of the $30 billion loan.
The budget performance has included the completion of the main line and ancillary facilities with electric power supply, freight yards in the Du and the Gasa, locomotive workshop, rolling stock depot, and provision of operation facilities for the Abuja, the Du, Kaduna, and the Gasa rail line.
Chairman Senate Committee on Land Transport Benga Ashafa said the committee was curious on why the Calabar to Lagos and Lagos to Kano railway modernization project were still pending.
The thrust of the 2016 budget is recovery and growth. Therefore, we must work together to ensure that we consolidate on the achievements and the performances already recorded in the past year.
In a related development, Chairman Senate Committee on Basic and Secondary Education, Senator Aliu Magataka Dawamako, has called for greater cooperation between and among educational institutions in Nigeria. Senator Wamako emphasized this at the 2017 budget defense for agencies under the purview of his committee.
We are here to work with you to see how best we can address the challenges we met last year or the previous years, so that together we can make a difference.
In the meantime, budget defense by MDAs continues. From the National Assembly, Waziri Zayanu, NTA News.
The federal government has reiterated its commitment to revamping the Ajaokuta Steel Company and other alien industries across the country to generate more job opportunities and revenue that will enhance economic growth. This came to the fore when the Minister of State for Mines and Steel Development, Abubakar Buhari, appeared before the House Committee on Steel to defend the 2016 budget performance of the ministry. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nani has that report.
Nigeria's steel industry has since its inception decades ago been one viable project the country has high hopes on as a sure way for functional development. Minister Abubakar Buhari said the recently launched comprehensive policy document for sustainable development has been a veritable launching pad not only for resuscitating the country's ailing steel industry, but on the provision of a comprehensive master plan in the development of the solid mineral and metal sector. One of the teething problems that has stalled the operations of the Nigerian steel industry over the years, Ajaokuta in particular, has been the insistent litigations against the government by development partners, which today, in the success story of the current effort, such encumbrances have been taken care of.
The management of Ajaokuta, with the 46% of the capital allocation released so far, has undertaken the procurement of utility tools and lighting materials for utility services. Management of NAMCO was able to accomplish within the financial year 2016 the restoration of power to the company after 21 months of power outage and facilitated the ongoing modified concession agreement, among other ancillary duties as detailed in their submission.
Appreciative of the submission by the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, the House Committee on Steel ensures that appropriate funding will be adequately effected in the management and operations of Nigeria's steel industry and solid mineral sector generally in its oversight.
It is important to state here today that budget performance assessment will certainly guide the committee in taking informed decisions in respect of the agencies we need to visit before the 2017 budget defense.
Further hearing continues with the ministry, during which the minister will come forward with relevant documents for study and ultimate streamlining of the operations of the solid mineral sector of the economy for optimal results. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The Public Account Committees of both the Senate and House of Representatives have frowned at the failure of more than 300 federal government parastatals to submit their audited accounts to the Auditor General of the Federation. To this end, the committees have recommended to both chambers the withholding of their 2017 budgetary allocation. However, the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, along other 20 parastatals, have been commended for being up to date with their audited accounts. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unko now reports.
Audit is a very crucial stage in budgeting. The importance of this process towards ensuring transparency and accountability in the implementation of annual budget is aptly captured in the provision of Section 85, subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, which provides that the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation shall audit accounts of all federal government agencies annually. Several agencies have been discovered to be flouting this constitutional provision by the National Assembly Committees on Public Accounts, a situation the committees described as unacceptable and a major obstacle in Nigeria's budget process.
How can you be doing business, collecting money? There's no audited report. From inception, that's the worst. From the time some of the agencies were established, they have not brought the audited report.
Like the Chairman Senate rightly said, we have a lot of agencies, over 300, that are yet to submit their reactions to Auditor General's queries for the years ending between 2010 to 2014.
But for those parastatals that are up to date, which are 21 in number, like the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Federal Medical Center Birnin Kebbi, and the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, the committees commended them.
To those who have submitted, yes, I will commend them for submitting. Those who have also appeared to defend their submissions, I will commend them, because we're talking about transparency. We're also talking about judicious use of public fund.
A public finance analyst and lecturer with the National Institute for Legislative Studies postgraduate program, Dr. Asimiu Abiola, profiles some solution to this teething problem.
The Auditor General in other democracies like in the US, UK, and some other places is an officer of the legislature. He works for the legislature. But in Nigeria, the Auditor General works with the legislature. In the 1979 Constitution, there was a provision there that says the Auditor General of the Federation should appoint the external auditors for these parastatals. Because the parastatals appoint their own auditors, in this case, there's compromise.
As the National Assembly commences the scrutiny and defense of the 2017 appropriation bill, accountability and transparency is key to both budget implementation and performance. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The recapture of Sambisa Forest by the troops means different things to different people. To some people, the feat signifies the end of Boko Haram. To many others, it is the final frontier by which all the secrets of Boko Haram will be opened. Hami Sorogo, who linked up with the fighting men in Borno, has a situation report on what the degrading of the insurgency and reclaiming of Sambisa stands for.
It is the day I joined a unit of the Nigerian army in their fight against insurgency.
Well, going to Sambisa is not a tea party because you are coming eyeball to eyeball with the fighting men of the Nigerian armed forces who day and night are trying to finish the last remnants of Boko Haram.
I am propelled by the good news of the degrading of Sambisa and the story current among military circles that Boko Haram is no longer a strong fighting force. Both information are correct, but the war is still far from over.
I've been in this theater for more than 3.5 years. In the past, the Boko Haram comes to us and we run. But now, it wasn't like that. We go to them, we look for them, we find them, see them eyeball to eyeball.
We joined the contingent from Bama. The town is not accessible except by military or civilian construction workers on escort. Bama is the headquarters of 21 Brigade, the operational unit for executing the war in Sambisa forest and surrounding Boko Haram enclaves. We are witnesses to movements of men and machine going to war front or coming from it right there in Bama. The brigade has 11 units and they are on field continually. We are attached to a unit that is to address some insurgents' irritation far from the gate of Sambisa. As we move, we ran into a unit that left before us, but were held because they discovered explosives on their routes. As we pushed into the war field, we had detonations of the explosives. In the meantime, we continue our movement into our operational area. The soldiers were moving with the confidence of someone going to a dance party.
Well, obviously, we are still in the operational area, sir. Yes. And you can see your men just trying to penetrate the bushes, sir. Yeah, obviously, because the impression is that Sambisa Island, Sambisa Forest has been liberated. But we can see in an operational area. What's the situation like, sir?
What's happening right now is that we've cleared all the major camps where the Boko Haram strongholds. Yeah. We've cleared them and their enclaves. Yeah. However, we still have remnants of the Boko Haram fleeing, trying to look for a place to run to. Yeah. So we are conducting further clearance operations.
Close our operational movements, our settlements, they look like ancient ruins.
We have situations whereby we go to clear, when we're on our way to clear Boko Haram enclaves, we find villagers running away with the Boko Haram. We don't know why. Instead of them losing the opportunity, the Boko Haram are running. Instead of them to use the opportunity to escape and come to us, some of them are running and following the Boko Haram. So if we want a situation whereby...
And you cannot shoot.
We cannot shoot.
We spend days with soldiers in the bush. During the stay, I yearned to visit Camp Zero and such high-profile places in Sambisa. The commander told me he does not fancy going to Maiduguri in handcuffs. I left him alone. Generally, however, the sound bites coming from the front is that Nigerians' war against insurgency is coming over.
This war is over. I must tell you, what is left is for people to begin to have more confidence in what has been done so far. And as that confidence builds, then fear begins to leave.
For details of this story, link up with Rogo at Large this Friday at 12:30 p.m. on the network of the Nigerian Television Authority.
Hamis Rogo there at his best. Still remaining with the Northeast. Various speakers at the first Northeast mega rally for peace in Maiduguri have commended the federal government's approach in stemming the activities of insurgents in the region. The rally, which was organized by the National Coalition Against Terrorism in conjunction with the Khartoum Foundation for Peace, took place at the Ramad Square, Maiduguri, the state capital. Maimuna Garba was there for NTA News.
The Northeast Coalition Against Terrorism Mega Rally for Peace was attended by about 2,000 youths comprised of students, market women, as well as members of the society drawn from the region. It was a celebration of peace by the youth to complement efforts of the military in decimating the insurgents, hence their collective resolve to move towards sustaining lasting peace in the Northeast. National coordinator of the coalition, Terence Kwanum, said the peace rally was organized to enlighten and sensitize the public on the need to sustain the peace being enjoyed in the region, and commended the military in routing the insurgents from their enclaves who are now in disarray.
We have our dear President, President Muhammadu Buhari, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces Ruling Council of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to thank for this feat, being among the few locations in this whole entire world where evil of terrorism has been halted within a very short time.
Similarly, a peace advocate in Maiduguri, Kaltum Muhammad of the Kaltum Campaign for Peace, also stressed the need on building the peace for all to continue with their lives again. Governor Kashim Shettima, represented by the Commissioner of Information, said the rally is a clear indication that peace has returned to the state and called on the youth in the region to rise against terrorism, stressing that government is fully committed to rebuilding the state. Theater Commander Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Loki Erabo, who commended the youth, said they have a role to play in ensuring peace prevails in the region and hope that similar rallies will be organized in the liberated communities.
War is war. We are on the path to enduring peace here in the Northeast. We have a part to play in this road towards enduring peace in the entire Northeast.
In their separate goodwill messages by the police, civilian JTF and IDPs commended the military, reiterating the call on the terrorists to surrender. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
In the meantime, plans are underway to establish a response support center in Maiduguri to coordinate activities of humanitarian agencies working in the state. Federal Commissioner, National Commission of Refugees, Migrants and IDPs, Sadia Umar Farouk, stated this when she visited Governor Kashim Shettima at the Government House, Maiduguri. Muhammad Ibrahim has that report.
Sadia Farouk said the One Response Stop Center is to provide proper coordination to numerous humanitarian agencies that have been operating in the state, some of whom are not making any impact on the lives of the people, and solicited the cooperation of the state government in that regard.
As far as we're concerned, it is the state government that has the responsibility of, coordinating these things together with the federal government agency to see how this impacts will be felt.
The Federal Commissioner appreciated Governor Kashim Shettima for his continued support and passion towards the cause of the IDPs, adding that they have visited IDPs in Bama and Dalori camp, interacted with them, and were impressed with the condition they found them in. She condoled the government and people of Borno over the incidents of misfire at Ran, prayed for the departed souls and the families they left behind. Hungarian Ambassador to Nigeria, Professor Gobar Tanek, said he was in the state to have a first-hand information on the condition of the IDPs and to discuss modalities on how his country will assist the IDPs through agriculture as a means to empower them. Governor Kashim Shettima appreciated the visitors for their concern to the plight of the IDPs in the state, saying the focus of the state government is on reconstruction and resettlement of the IDPs in their communities, with massive investment in education and agriculture.
To see that we create a workspace for them in the workstation of the 21st century, we have to invest in their education.
The governor assured to partner with the Hungarian government to improve the lives of the people. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Still to come on News Extra tonight, African First Ladies meet in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. We'll be right back with the details. Don't go away.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
A famous boxer once said, "The fight is won long before you step into the ring." It takes massive investment, dedication, planning, enduring fierce competition, never backing down. In 2005, Glo invested in the world's only privately owned undersea data cable, then connected this to its extensive fiber optic network throughout Nigeria, which seamlessly delivers flexible and affordable data plans for everyone, making Glo Nigeria's largest data network in new subscriptions. You see, it's not what you step into the ring with that makes you the master. It's everything you did to get you there. Now enjoy 3G and 4G data plans at the same price. Dial *777#. The largest data network, Glo, grandmasters of data.
Funded by a fan, Babalola, a believer in industry and determination. A unique environment with aesthetic structures, a beckoning university. Delivery unequal.
If there's any university that can be called federal, ours is the Federal University.
Afe Babalola University, the fastest growing educational institution in Africa.
The Tony Elumelu Foundation's $100 million entrepreneurship program is empowering Africa's next business leaders. 10,000 entrepreneurs, 54 countries. Become a Tony Elumelu entrepreneur. Apply now.
The Center for Islamic Studies, Usman Dan Fodio University, Sokoto, in conjunction with the Kwara State Musabaka Committee, invites the general public to the formal opening of the 31st National Quranic Recitation Competition, holding in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. The opening ceremony will hold on the 3rd of February 2017, Jumada Alwa, 1438 AA, venue, Metropolitan Square, Ilorin, Kwara State. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Chief guest of honor, the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Special guest of honor, the Senate President, Senator Dr. Abubakar Bukola Saraki, CON, Chivels, the Executive Governor of Kwara State, Alhaji Dr. Abdul Fattah Ahmed. Royal Chief Guest of Honor, the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, CFR. Royal Host, the Emir of Ilorin, Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Zulu Gambari, CFR. Chairman of the occasion, the Emir of Kano, Alhaji Muhammadu Sanusi II, CON. Local Organizing Committee. Announcer.
Edo University Yamo, a world-class university with state-of-the-art facilities, invites qualified candidates for 2016-2017 supplementary admissions into 100-level UTME and 200-level direct entry into these faculties: Science, Social and Management Sciences, Law, School of Medicine, Engineering, Arts, and School of Basic Medical Sciences. Apply online at www.edouniversity.edu.ng. Signed, Dr. Mrs. Isoken Ogboro, Register.
The Future Assured project and its components, Get Involved, initiated by the wife of the President, Her Excellency Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is not relenting in championing the cause of Nigerian women and children. Its provision of free medical screening, educational support, and the fight against malnutrition, especially in the Northeast, has indeed informed international recognition, partnerships, and awards.
We are very grateful and appreciative for your wonderful gesture you have accorded to us.
With Future Assured, Nigerian women and children are assured of a bright future.
Future is assured when we join hands to promote the health of our women and children. Get involved.
Get involved and support the Future Assured initiative. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
You're welcome back. You're still watching NTA News Extra on the network service of the NTA. The newly registered political party, the the National Unity Party, NUP, has formally presented its constitution and manifesto as part of its resolve to contest future elections. Political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Birnin-Kudu was at the event and now reports.
This party,
National Unity Party, NUP, was registered in August 2016 and participated in the Ondo governorship election. It was formerly People's Mega Party deregistered by INEC. With a new slogan, Forward Nigeria, the Mega Party, the party's executive committee presents its manifesto to kickstart registration of new members nationwide. The national chairman, Chief Ferry Opara, says NUP will field candidates in all future elections, while its doors remain open for alliance with the like-minded political parties or associations.
We want to fight corruption and reduce it. We want to bring peace in Nigeria. We want to bring prosperity.
if our expectations are granted, we are going to have a merger with the National Unity Party, otherwise called the Mega Party.
As at now, there are 40 registered political parties in Nigeria and still counting because more are to be registered by INEC. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Birnin-Kudu, NTA News.
State houses of assembly have been urged to review outrageous pensions for former governors in the light of the current economic recession and overall development of the nation. This was the standpoint of discussants on NTA's Current Affairs program Tuesday Live. Talatu Ezirike has the details.
The Nigerian Constitution recognizes pension for public servants, including governors, but the worry is the introduction of outrageous packages into the scheme by various state assemblies beyond the stipulated approval. Currently, 21 former governors and deputy governors are drawing salaries from the public purse as either serving senators or ministers. These analysts say goes beyond legality. They consider the current harsh economy and dropped in the value of the naira with the take-home pension of retired civil servants after 35 years of service.
Many of us have never collected their gratuity. They are not paying them. Many have died. Even their next of kin cannot collect their money.
We see people being awarded this, awarded that, awarded this. We have been ignored because we didn't jump into politics.
Trend many agree should be reviewed as the law is dynamic.
You make available what you can pay depending on what you earn. You cannot keep paying what you do not have. The states and the houses of assembly and the governors should consider what was the oil price at the time that these emoluments were fixed.
We must also focus on coming out with a legislation that will consolidate funds. You were a general in the army and you are now a minister, became a governor, you are now a minister. Then the pension law must state that these funds must be consolidated in such a way that the person who is to earn it must choose one out of the three.
For others, the issues should be addressed holistically with more political will.
In absence of independence of the state houses of assembly need to be addressed immediately by the ongoing constitutional review in the National Assembly. Important in the war against corruption that the present administration is pursuing.
People are still making laws that guarantee you houses in Abuja. If you govern your state well, why do you want to live in Abuja?
Equity and selfless service many strongly believe should be the watchwords. After all, the nation's forebears gave their all in building a united and peaceful nation. Talatu Ezirike, NTA News.
Many thanks, Talatu. The House Committee on Police Affairs says it will continue to monitor activities of the Nigeria Police Force and also offer support for optimal performance to overcome the internal security challenges in the country. This was during an oversight visit to the headquarters of the Nigeria Police Force in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf has that report.
The visit by the House Committee on Police Affairs, though routine, has far-reaching impact on police as it serves both as an audit as well as an opportunity for the force to present challenges that legislators can facilitate solutions to. The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, who briefed the members on the 2016 budget performance of the force, highlighted both successes and challenges.
Allocations to the force is grossly inadequate, despite the increasing security challenges it has to contend with. This exercise, I believe, is in furtherance of your commitment at ensuring that the Nigerian police force is given the enabling tools to deliver its statutory responsibilities.
Members of the House Committee on Police Affairs noted the pitfalls to effective performance, which threaten internal security, and pledged to support the Nigeria police. They were, however, quick to point out that they will not hesitate to call the force to order where they notice lapses.
We are here to police your activities, to make sure that square peg is placed in a square hole, and to also reassure you and reaffirm to you our commitment to support you.
Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has inaugurated a committee on the construction of 6-level General Referral Police Hospital to cater for the health needs of officers and men of the force. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And from Abuja, we take you to Lagos, where legal experts have advocated holistic justice sector reform for the modernization of administration of justice, in line with what obtains in other jurisdictions around the world. This was part of the consensus at the Stakeholder Summit on the administration of justice in Lagos. Vieira Chungwoba was there and our reports.
Of the fact that predictable, easy access to justice makes for a better society and create enabling environment for investments informed the summit, given the trajectory of Lagos State and the fact that an estimated 50% of cases filed in Nigeria originate from Lagos, require that justice sector is made more functional, accessible and efficient.
Let us move towards paperless regime. Let us also now utilize this process of alternative dispute resolution. Lagos State government now should go into the archives, to go into their files and see cases that should be settled.
You have a commercial dispute that will be in court for 10, 15 years. It's not done anywhere. Those who want to have any business in the country are hesitant to come to our courts, or even when they make provision for arbitration, they don't want to sit down in Lagos or Abuja. They prefer to go to London.
Experts strongly suggest that while stakeholders should not be daunted by the enormity of challenges, but rather deploy technology to facilitate justice administration as done in other jurisdictions.
All the ideas are going to be, first of all, distilled by an in-house committee of the Ministry of Justice. We'll look at everything. We're going to extract those ideas that need to be implemented.
The developmental nature of law and indeed the legal profession are at the core of this summit. Through exchange of ideas and reviews, contemporary trends will form part of administration of justice in Lagos State. I'm Vieira Chungwoba, NTA News.
The suit initiated by Nigeria's former First Lady, Dame Patience Jonathan, alongside her group, Union of Niger Delta Youth Organization for Equity, Justice and Good Governance, against a Lagos-based human rights group, Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, has been struck out by the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos. Again, I hand you over to Vieira Chungwoba for the details.
Justice Olateregu arrived at the decision to strike out the suit sequel to an oral application by counsel to the former First Lady that the plaintiff is no longer interested in pursuing the matter. Serap, through its lawyer, Timothy Adewale, said the case should not have been brought against Serap. While Serap did not object to the plaintiff's withdrawal of the case, it, however, asked the court to award 500,000 naira cost against Mrs. Jonathan and her group. The plaintiff in 2016 had accused Serap of using online print and electronic media to publish to the public unfounded and malicious allegations that she stole $50 million. But in its preliminary objection to the accusation in October 2016, the human rights group had urged the judge to dismiss the suit with substantial cost. This was based on the fact that the claim cannot be substantiated because it was instituted on her behalf by a group unknown to law and therefore lacks legal capacity to file the case. Justice Olaturegu did not only strike out the suit, but also awarded cost of 25,000 naira against Mrs. Jonathan. In Lagos, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
Vice-chancellors of Nigerian universities have been enjoined to take advantage of the federal government initiatives in updating their teaching, research, and community development mandates. President Muhammadu Buhari gave the advice in his message to the 34th Founders' Day celebration and the 26th convocation ceremony of the Federal University of Technology, Minna, Niger State. Dauda Mohammed reports that 3,734 students graduated with 3 prominent Nigerians, including 2 first-class emirs, bagging doctorate degrees.
Published on the 1st of February 1983, Federal University of Technology, Minna, has over 30 years been producing graduates in the fields of sciences and technology, in addition to carrying out research that have impacted positively on its host community and the country. Visitor to the university, Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari, while congratulating students and management of the university on their 26th convocation ceremony, added that the present administration recognizes the importance of science and technology education to the development of the country. Represented by the Executive Secretary, National Universities Commission, Professor Abubakar Rashid, President Muhammadu Buhari said approval has been given for the reconstitution of the governing boards of all federal universities and polytechnics, as well as agencies and parastatals under the Federal Ministry of Education.
Some universities have not been able to meet the requirement for further release of funds. We have started making efforts to improve the infrastructure, to look at the curriculum very well, and to ensure that we have very good teachers that will take care of our children in various public schools. My advice for you is to represent your alma mater well, wherever you may find yourself.
NUH has been fully committed to the training of highly skilled, creative, and innovative workforce that have been serving and will continue to serve as major players in transforming the processes and techniques of industrial production to effectively harness Nigeria's human and natural resources.
We have resisted the temptation of buying off our sacred parts.
3,734 students graduated this year from the 8 schools, 637 with master's degree, 35 others with PhDs, while 274 bagged postgraduate diplomas, including those from 3 affiliated institutions: Federal College of Education Technology, Potiskum, Kaduna Polytechnic, Kaduna State, and College of Basic Studies, Yauri, Kebbi State, while 34 attained first-class degrees with 3 eminent personalities: Etsunupe and Chairman, Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers, Alhaji Aya Abubakar, Emir of Gombe, and Chairman, Gombe State Council of Emirs and Chiefs, Alhaji Abubakar Shehu Abubakar III, and Chairman, Lagos Mega City Development Authority, Professor Akin Mabogunje, were conferred honorary doctorate degrees of technology by the Federal University of Technology, Minna. Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
Thank you, Dauda. And away from education, the Organization of African First Ladies has risen from a special congress in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, with far-reaching decisions in the fight against HIV/AIDS. Correspondent Omine Oden reports that the Congress enabled stock-taking and cross-fertilization of ideas on the organization's core mandate.
Discussions at the Special Congress were centered around gender-based violence, early child marriage, and on the need to end harmful traditional birth practices in the African continent. Other thematic areas are teenage pregnancy, access to sexuality education, and the plight of teenage girls' child mothers. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Women Affairs in the Office of the Wife of the President said, OFLA in Nigeria is doing a lot for vulnerable women and the girl child in Nigeria through the Future Assured program of the wife of the President, Aisha Buhari. Nigeria's presence at the Congress, she explained, has built capacity for better advocacy in Nigeria.
Our participation is very active here, in the sense that all what Her Excellency is doing under her Future Assured program is also within the strategy of the OPLA in terms of sustaining the promotion of adolescent health and prevention of HIV/AIDS in Nigeria.
As you may be aware, the wife of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is advocating strongly for the improvement of health and well-being of women and children. And one of her priority intervention areas as far as her advocacy efforts is concerned is improving maternal newborn child health services.
At the Congress, presentations were made by the First Ladies of Rwanda, Zambia, and Sierra Leone. They appealed to international partners of the Organization of African First Ladies to sustain assistance to the group.
Most of us, we need appointment with the President of a state. You don't need appointment. You can really convey what you feel important to make the nation better. And that's, I understood early that it was an important channel to use.
The Organization of African First Ladies, OFLA, was established in 2002 in Geneva, Switzerland, facilitated by UNAIDS and the International AIDS Trust. The AIDS response has fundamentally changed the outlook for people living with and affected by HIV/AIDS, especially for children. In Addis Ababa, Omini Udan, NTA News.
And back home, the need for Nigeria to take charge of its destiny through a collective approach that is robust and acceptable to all took center stage at the 3rd National Council on AIDS held in Abuja. Among the 80 memoranda submitted for consideration at the meeting is the call for the establishment of a National AIDS Trust Fund for the sustainability of the national response. Health correspondent Rabi Abdullah has the details.
The National Council on AIDS is the highest technical policy advisory body for HIV and AIDS matters in the country. The composition includes coordinators of state agencies for the control of AIDS, executive secretaries, experts, and other key players. The choice of the theme spanned from developments that have affected the national response since the last council held in 2007. The issues include dwindling donor support and inadequate domestic funding.
We have to stop the spread. We have to make sure the available drugs get to the people. We as members of parliament, we will do our best to make sure that we increase funding.
If we have a formula that allows us to deliver commodities where they are supposed to be, then states should be able to build the capacity of their staff to deliver antiretroviral therapy. So you have primary healthcare centers, but what they are missing are the commodities, the ability to make a diagnosis, the ability to put patients on treatment. And that's what we need to address.
National AIDS Trust has worked in so many countries. We need not wait for statutory allocation every year. We need not wait for the donors.
The Director General of NACA, Dr. Sani Aliyu, highlighted how the country had been able to reduce AIDS-related deaths by 50%, just as the UNAIDS hailed Kaduna State.
To eliminate mother-to-child transmission, this is a good example to learn from Kaduna. The United Nations in Nigeria, we will ensure that our investment will produce results at all levels.
No, the government has set up what we call Benue HIV/AIDS Fund to ensure that we drop in something in the basket for the rainy day. And now this is the rainy day, now that the partners are moving out.
The CS meeting also attracted the presence of some commissioners for health and secretaries to state governments. In Abuja, Rabi Abdullah, NTA News.
And still talking health, Minister of State Health Osage Ehaniri says the revitalization of every segment of primary healthcare delivery chain is a priority of the Buhari administration. He said this while inaugurating new installations at the Federal Medical Center in Kefi, Nasarawa State. Our correspondent, Agatha Joseph Obioha, was there.
Inaugurated at the Electronic Medical Records, e-payment and solar power installations, coming with the expansion of healthcare delivery to serve environs of the FCT and Nasarawa State. The minister explained the quest to revamp the health sector in the country.
The government wants to locate one functional primary health care center at every ward so that they can take the load and the pressure off the secondary hospitals, the general hospitals, and the federal medical centers.
We in the health sector are serving humanity, and in the order of priorities of its administration, it is health first.
Corroborating the minister, the medical director of the center, Dr. Joshua Gyan, says the installation will yield positive results.
In terms of keeping records, the electronic way is better. The advantages are very, very high when it comes to research, when it comes to patient care, when it comes to training.
The Health Week is a week-long event that drew departments and units of the center together to showcase their expertise. From Federal Medical Center, Kefi, Agatha Joseph Obioha, NTA News.
The Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Boboye Oyeyemi, has challenged more state governments to establish their own road safety management agencies to enhance road safety culture, especially at the grassroots. The Corps Marshal made the call in Abuja at an interactive session with chief executive officers of state-owned mass transit companies. Victor Azu has the details.
As the lead agency in road safety in Nigeria, they assure that the Federal Road Safety Corps will remain committed in supporting all initiatives aimed at enhancing efficiency, safety and security, as well as convenience of passengers.
The interactive session, the Corps Marshal says, was born out of the need to design an interface with major players in the transport industry and to afford stakeholders an avenue to discuss challenges facing the sector. Boboye Oyeyemi hinted that state government engagement in mass transit operation is preferred to private operators because they exercise greater control over personnel, vehicles in the fleet are better maintained and are more reliable. He told his guests that the implementation of the speed limiting device on commercial vehicles is without exception.
50% of our crashes or traffic was speed related, so we believe that with the installation of the speed limiting device in vehicles or the calibration for the heavy trucks, this will cut down the speed. And I'm happy about the response that I've been getting from the multinationals and the organized transport sector.
The Corps Marshal challenged heads of state traffic regulatory agencies to ensure continuous training of their personnel, adding that the Corps will continue to assist with such training at the FRSC Academy in Udi, Enugu State.
Just ahead on News Extra, young Nigerians take to online taxi business. Stay with us for the details when we return.
In town, Glow is giving away 4G LTE smartphones absolutely free. Get this super stylish 4G LTE smartphone free when you buy a 48,000 Naira data bundle. This stunning 4G LTE smartphone free when you buy a 60,000 Naira data bundle. Or this state-of-the-art 4G LTE smartphone free when you buy a 75,000 Naira data bundle. The ideal phones for 4G, 3G and 2G. Plus, with Glow, you always enjoy 4G for the same price as 3G. Hurry to the nearest Glow World for the best deal in town. Welcome to the new speed of life.
Play nicely with your brother.
Coca-Cola?
Oh, it's happy hour. So, you want a free Coca-Cola, but you have to drink it here.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Feel the tasty, refreshing goodness of Chi Iced Tea. Chi Iced Tea, made from premium natural tea leaves. With delicious fruity flavors. Chi Iced Tea. Drink positive. Come over to the tea side of life.
We're glad to have you rejoin us on NTA News Extra tonight. Now, thousands of young Nigerians take advantage of the new online taxi business as an alternative source of income to improve their well-being. Amechi Pius tells us more about this new initiative in taxi service in the country.
It's nice to have you join us on Business News. It's a technology-driven taxi initiative that provides commuters fast and efficient movement to their destinations using their smartphones at their convenience. At the press of a button, a request is made and the next available car is at your service. Interestingly, so many young Nigerians in partnership with the service providers are making money through the platform by driving their cars. Many like these operators say the online cab business is a viable source of income.
For me, it is profitable when you know the job. So it's very, very profitable. All Uber drivers does pay tax.
He told NTA Business News that he makes between 100 and 150,000 naira a week, depending on the volume of work. Because the online cab service is safe, convenient, and efficient, more people, especially in Lagos, have abandoned the yellow traditional cabs. The emergence of the online cab service has forced some yellow cab operators to either upgrade their vehicles and services or out of business.
Plenty, no passenger. Everywhere they come here, Zena Uber, 400 naira. From here to CMS, you know, come our park again.
Really affects our business. But we have no choice. When we stand with God, God will do our own.
And their price is cheaper than us. There is electric cars, but we charge.
And that's Business News. Thanks for watching. The news continues shortly. Good evening.
Thank you, Amechi. Now, 10 major transmission lines and substations captured in the 2016 budget of the Transmission Company of Nigeria will be completed in the first quarter of 2017. Managing Director of TCN, Abubakar Atiku, stated this while giving the scorecard of the company in 2016 and the prospects for 2017. Mie Ogidi has that report.
Some transmission lines and substations in the Nigerian power sector predate its independence, hence lack the strength to carry much load from the point of generation. This has prompted this somewhat new company, TCN, to embark on massive upgrading of power lines and substations. Currently, 127 capital projects have been contracted out by the company, though some are completed. From the completed ones in 2016, the wheeling capability has improved from 5,500 megawatts to 6,500 megawatts under the leadership of the new managing director of the company, Abubakar Atiku.
This improvement in transmission loss translates to more power to the discourse for the people and about 5 billion naira additional revenue to TCN. In order to realize the completion of these projects, we have got the release of first batch of stranded containers, delaying the execution of 13 among the 22 critical projects earmarked for completion this year. The second batch of 227 containers is to be cleared and delivered to their respective sites by April 2017.
2017 is also promising as 11 critical projects are almost ready for inauguration. To ensure the successful completion of these projects and others in the future, the federal government has launched a financing model that is private investors can now fund TCN projects and to be refunded after completion.
Although this will lead to the timely completion of the project, it is, however, premised on getting about 60% of our invoices from the market.
It's, however, not a bed of roses, as payment for TCN services has gone down from 55% to 27% as of November 2016. So far, the market holds TCN close to 100 billion naira. Mie Ogide, NTA News.
Nigeria's first soils atlas for general knowledge of soil types and their engineering classifications has been launched. Produced by Nigerian Building and Roads Research Institute, NBRRI, the atlas provides subgrade soils data applicable in the design of dams, bridges, roadworks, and other construction structures. Science correspondent Kirian Omayo has that report.
The Subgrade Soils Atlas made general assessment of engineering properties of soils that are encountered on the fields of construction work. Minister of Science and Technology Dr. Bone Ono commended the ingenuity and excellent performance of the management of NIBRE in actualizing the Institute's mandate.
The Federal Ministry of Science and Technology is showing the nation that we are determined to lay the solid foundation for the takeoff, technological takeoff of our great nation.
Professor Danladi Matawal explained that the zoning of the soils in maps was done using the internationally acclaimed United Soil Classification System.
The kind of experiments that were conducted and tested in the lab included particle size analysis, liquid limit, plasticity limit, and by implication plasticity index, and even compaction and CBR tests were conducted.
The Senate Committee on Science and Technology is delighted to be associated with this initiative by NIBRE.
NIBRE says the engineering soils are not the same as agricultural or geographical soils, as they do not support plant growth.
Having been identified to be of paramount importance, the Soils Atlas by NIBRE was done with unified classification system that guarantees precision test. And according to experts, with prior knowledge of the soil, designing, planning, and construction of development projects can be expedited. Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
And from science, we move on to agriculture. With comparative advantage, RAND, government intervention, wheat cultivation in parts of Nigeria is recording more participation as part of efforts towards enhancing food security and reducing the importation of the crop. Hamza Musa Magarfi, who visited the hub of wheat production in Kebbi State, reports that there are higher expectations on harvest towards the end of March.
Life in Kebbi State is anchored on agriculture and support services. In fact, 80% of the population are participants. Wheat cultivation in the state is a tradition among the farmers, but lost its glory due to dwindling fortunes. With presidential intervention on wheat and rice production in 2015, more people are back with the renewed commitment to produce wheat in large commercial quantity. Abdullahi Megandu Abubakar, the chairman of Kebbi State Wheat Growers Association, is leading by example with 60 hectares under wheat cultivation.
I will honestly tell you that farmers never had it like what we are having now. There is great political will. Because the president has a passion. Number two, our state governor has a passion. He brought us money, he brought us uptakers.
But Kebbi State has comparative advantage of the vast Padama soil of the river Niger and temperate condition in this period of the year. For the farmers, the attraction is from many perspectives to grow the crop, including less labor application, market availability, and attractive price of between 26 and 30,000 naira at the farm gate per bag of wheat, as against pittance some years ago. The Lake Chad Research Institute, responsible for developing wheat value chain program, Kebbi State government and others are interfacing with the farmers to lessen the burden of production and achieving higher yield.
From the economic perspective, when you look at it, what Nigeria spent a lot on importation and forex on in Nigeria is rice and wheat. And that is the commodity that Nigeria consumes more. Every household in Nigeria consumes either a product of rice or a product of wheat. And from that day the president launched this, is a wake-up call for all Nigerians to start producing what we eat. Our institute has been collaborating with the Flour Millers Association of Nigeria, which they have tested the Nigerian grown wheat, and it has shown through research that Nigerian grown wheat is far more superior to the imported wheat.
This year we are so optimistic that more farmers will participate. Production will be higher.
With improvements, farmers now harvest between 5 and 6 tons in a hectare as against 2 some years ago. Due to this enhancement, wheat production in Nigeria is expected to exceed the 60,000 tons harvested in 2016, and sector participants say it is achievable. Globally, 749 million tons of wheat was produced in 2016, making it the most produced cereal after maize. Hamza Musa Makarfi, NTA News.
The management of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, has reiterated its resolve to ensuring that corps members have a reliable source of economic empowerment during and after their service year. Director General of the scheme, Brigadier General Suleiman Kazaure, made the disclosure when he visited the 2016 Batch B Stream 2 corps members at Wailo Camp in Bauchi. Correspondent Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad completes the report.
The visit by the Director General to the Batch B orientation camp is aimed at ensuring corps members are adequately catered for as they embark on a quest to serve the nation. The Director General, who revealed plans by the NYSC to collaborate with Central Bank of Nigeria and Bank of Industry on affording corps members the opportunity to access start-up capital for small-scale business, advised them to respect the tradition and customs of their host communities. He urged them to come up with community development innovations that will impact positively on the people.
Just a routine inspection of our camp facilities. In fact, it's excellent. From what I've seen, especially the clinic, I think Gombe is one of the best so far.
Director General, who earlier inspected quarter guard, was taken round to see facilities at the temporary orientation camp. In Gombe, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
We take another break now. News Extra continues in just a moment. Join us again.
The federal government's social investment program has begun. The poorest and most vulnerable in the land get 5,000 naira monthly, and phase 1 has started in 9 states of the federation. 200,000 unemployed graduates have been engaged in the N-Power Volunteer Corps, designed to engage 500,000 people. 5.5 million children will be fed regularly in the homegrown school feeding program, which kicked off in 3 states last year, with 9 more to be added this year. And under the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP, thousands of cooperatives, market women, farmers and enterprising youth have been receiving between 10,000 and 100,000 naira soft loans since November 2016. The Social Investment Program has begun. It can only get better. We promise change. Change is here.
Do you crave class? Do you have taste? And do you care about comfort? If you do, then for your next event, a stay away from home, a business trip, or a holiday, visit Jade's Hotel at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Check out our world-class services, exquisite suites, restaurant and bar, gymnasium, spa and grills. and our outdoor catering services and cuisines. At Jade's, it can only be better. For bookings and reservations, visit us today at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, or visit www.jadeshotels.com. Our email address is info@jadeshotels.com. You can also call us on 09291-9321 or 0810-909-7956. Jade's Hotels. Welcome to life.
The production, distribution, and sale of counterfeit and fake drugs is a corrupt practice and a crime against humanity. This has informed several measures and strategies to combat fake drugs, including introduction of anti-counterfeiting cutting-edge technologies to detect fake drugs on the spot. These technologies are being deployed to all the states across the Federation, as well as the internally displaced people's camps. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, and his team are committed to this fight.
The federal government of Nigeria, in line with its anti-corruption agenda and posture, will fight a total war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products in order to ensure that Nigerians remain healthy and well.
Lend your support and join NAFDAC to rid the country of fake drugs and unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
So what's up, sweetheart? You really look like you're up to something.
I have a secret.
Okay.
I'll be going to Europe next week.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Like you have your visa, your passport, your plane ticket?
No, not that way. Some men are helping us. We pay them, they take us through the desert, and then we cross the sea into Europe.
The desert, the sea. Isn't that the route where many have died?
Yes, it is indeed a very dangerous journey. In 2016 alone, 4,900 people died while crossing the Mediterranean Sea to enter Europe. Many were Nigerians. For the very few who survived the journey, they are forced into prostitution or other crimes just to survive. Eventually, they will be arrested and deported to Nigeria. Don't be a victim. Don't go this way.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
You're welcome back. It's good to know that you're out there watching. Now, Muslim women in Nigeria today, 1st February, joined their counterparts across the world to commemorate the 2017 World Hijab Day. Marijana to Adam Saeed reports that the event is held annually to create awareness on the importance of hijab in the Islamic faith.
The first World Hijab Day was marked across the world on the 1st of February 2013, with Nigeria being among the pioneer countries. It was the idea of Nazima Khan, a New York resident, who wanted to promote religious tolerance and understanding among different religious adherents. Since then, Nigeria, with millions of Muslim women who choose to wear the hijab, annually mark the day to promote modesty, chastity, and respect among the Ummah. 1st February every year is being marked as the World Hijab Day globally. It is a recognition of millions of Muslim women who choose to wear the hijab in commandment of the instruction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As part of activities to mark the 2017 event, the Coalition of Muslim Women in the FCT paid a courtesy visit to the management of the NTA. The Executive Director of Special Duties received them on behalf of the Director General Yakubu Ibn Muhammad.
To create awareness of the Muslim woman's dress and what it stands for in a bid to promote a more harmonious world where global citizens respect each other, devoid of bigotry, prejudice, and discrimination.
As a law-abiding citizen, I can assure you that we will continue to abide by what is legal, what is prescribed by the law of this country.
Very comfortable. In fact, I cannot do without the hijab.
Apart from understanding the place of the hijab in Islam, the annual event is said to have raised awareness, especially in countries where stigma was high. In Abuja, Marijana to Adam Saeed, NTA News.
We've got sport ahead. right after this break. Stay.
Okay, sir. You may now go in for your interview.
Thank you. Ah, my shoe. And to think I just bought this very expensive foreign shoe 2 months ago.
So sorry about your shoes. This is why I advise my friends to always patronize made in Nigeria products. See this shoe. It's made in Nigeria and I've had it for 2 years and it's still as good as the day I bought it.
Made in Nigeria products are good quality, and stringent government regulations and certification now mean the goods made in Nigeria meet international standards. Make the patriotic choice today. Buy right. Buy Made in Nigeria.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, oh get roller. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
Voter registration begins in Liberia ahead of crucial elections in October, and Britain's Brexit bill clears first legislature hurdle. For more reports on global tidbits, let's join Ronke Kolawole